You know, guys, I've lived next door to Rusty for years. And I know he can be a little goofy at times, but he's also the best friend a guy could have. And it's fun having a friend as a neighbor. Unfortunately, I can't really say the same for Skip. Maybe I'll win him over one day too. But either way, I guess I'll keep trying to be kind to all of my neighbors. You know, some people asked Jesus about neighbors one day, and he had a surprising answer for them. Truthfully, it's an answer that still surprises people today. Well, I need to go work on fixing my toilet. I wonder if Rusty's done with those tools he borrowed.
Delicious little haggis.
Hey, Rusty.
Howdy ho, neighbor. Just grilling some treats for my friends. Hey.
Rusty, something smells like it died in here.
Yep, no, that's not just anything that day, right? That's actually the heavenly musk of haggis in the air. Take it in.
Oh, hey, I thought we weren't supposed to grill indoors.
Oh no, that's kind of like an old wives' tale. Like you're not supposed to climb trees during a lightning storm, right? But my uncle Laban told me I can climb trees during a lightning storm. That's the best time to climb them, right?
Didn't he die in a thunderstorm?
Coincidence.
Oh. Listen, before I forget, I wanted to find you because I needed to borrow get those.
Nose.
No, not that. I needed to. No, Rusty, I needed to find out if you had those tools that you borrowed from me like a year ago. I needed them.
Oh, wow. All right. Okay. Is that how it's going to be, right?
What?
I mean, I come into your house, uninvited.
Yeah.
I use your charcoal,
Yeah.
your gas. I use your grill. I use your food to make a delicious treat, mainly for myself, but give you a little piece of it. And this is how you treat me? You're going to nag me about some little tool I borrowed like a day ago? Is that our friendship? Is that what you're boiling it down to?
Well, it was a year ago, and according to my list, it was 17 tools to be exact.
Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. Wow. Wow.
Rusty.
Wow.
Rusty.
Oh,
Rusty.
wow.
I mean, I can't. Are you gonna just keep
Wow.
saying that, or
All
what?
right. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Is my expression of surprise a little bit too much right now?
Wow.
Am I using wow too much?
Why?
I thought you were going to have to nag me on the wows now, hey?
Rusty, I'm not trying to start an argument with you. Look, I need those tools back in order to fix the toilet. That's all.
So let me get this straight, all right?
Uh-huh.
I'm cooking you a delicious meal of haggis with your grill, and you're sitting there and nagging me about a toilet that you broke because you probably clogged it.
Well, actually, it worked until you used it the other week.
Well, that's it, huh? You're gonna boil down our friendship for that moment, huh? Well, guess what? I don't have your nose anymore. Okay. And guess what?
Really?
I'm taking my grilling and chilling hat, and I'm taking my King of the Grill apron, and my grill and my haggis, and I'm leaving. I'm never coming back. Guess what? Guess what about this too?
Well, Rusty, we're neighbors.
We're not friends anymore.
But
We're not even frenemies. We're now enemies.
We're neighbors, Rusty. You can't be this way.
Oh, guess what? I'm gonna move now, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna move to Spring, Texas, something to be near you, and your face and your haircut from Sports Clips, and I can just do my own thing, and I never see you again. I don't have to be nice to you. I don't have to say anything to you anymore.
Rusty,
It's over.
come on. You're being ridiculous. What is this? I knew that was a toy grill. Oh, why is there haggis on?
It's burning me.
It's not. Forget about it.
Uncle Herman, what's going on with Rusty? I just talked to Skip, and apparently Rusty is moving.
How did Skip react?
Well, Skip was very excited and dancing until I reminded him of the fact that if Rusty moves, he has to pay both halves of the rent, and now he's crying into his microphone.
Makes sense. Look, I don't know. I just asked Rusty to return some tools he borrowed, and he just freaked out on me and said he was gonna move.
Goodbye, monkey box. Goodbye, kitty cat. Goodbye, 5-pound weight. Goodbye, Kleenex box. Goodbye, couch. Goodbye, Casternut. Hello, we've had such good times together. Hannah.
Yeah. No.
Ah! I'm not gonna miss you. I take back whatever I said. I'm not gonna miss you, your gigantic forehead.
Hey, that was a low blow, Rusty.
All right, well, guess what? Now that we're not neighbors anymore, I
Yeah?
can say whatever I want about you and your things. So, I'll say this. Your flower bed, yeah, it's jinky.
What?
Yeah, and your hamburgers taste like shoe leather.
Okay, come on.
Oh, and this, your dancing makes a baby giraffe look coordinated.
You know what? That's where I know you're just making stuff up because my dancing is fantastic.
Oh, righty. Look away. Look away.
Okay, yeah, but why are you moving? I still don't get it.
All right, well, I'm surprised I have to explain this to you, Hannah. I'm not a Herman, right?
Right.
But I'm his neighbor. The Bible says I had to love my neighbor.
Yeah, but-
Ergo, I'm moving so I no longer have to love him anymore. I'm moving so I give him a piece of my mind.
I'd like to see you try. I didn't know you could share something that was microscopic in size. Here, oh, let me get my microscope. I want to check out Rusty's brain. Oh, I think I need an electron microscope. There's your brain. There's your brain. There's your brain. Brain.
Okay, both of you have got to calm down and stop. Okay, remember in Mark 12:31, it says to love your neighbor as yourself.
That's why I'm moving.
Yeah, but Rusty, it doesn't actually mean your next door neighbor. It means your neighbor could be anybody. So you're supposed to love anybody no matter what. And you two are not acting very loving at the moment.
Well, guess what? As soon as that last moving box is gone, I'm gonna take him out.
Yeah? Well, you know, don't let the door hit you.
Okay, I'm going to stop. Deep breaths.
Our big point says love your neighbor. One day a lawyer came up to Jesus and asked him, "Who is my neighbor?" That's when Jesus told the whole crowd the story of the Good Samaritan. This story began as a normal story, but the ending shocked the crowd. They never expected the twists and turns this story would take. One day, a Jewish man took a trip from Jerusalem to the city of Jericho. The distance between these two cities was only about 14 miles, and walking was the main mode of transportation. In ancient times, you could cover that distance in one full day, but on a road like this, it might take you a little bit longer to travel. And there was also another problem for the traveler in this story. This road was notorious for robbery. The steep hills and large rocks on the dusty road gave ample opportunities for bandits to hide. In those days, there were no police patrols, no 911, no cell phones to call in an emergency. A person traveling by himself was an easy target. That's exactly what happened on this particular day. Bandits jumped out and stripped the man of all his belongings. And if that wasn't bad enough, they beat him up and left him nearly dead. Now imagine this guy lying on the side of the road, barely conscious, bleeding, and hoping someone might come to his aid. This part of the story, unfortunately, was not surprising to the audience. But what came next was the first twist. Jesus said that a priest happened by the scene. He saw the guy and, instead of helping, he passed by on the other side of the road. Then a Levite arrived. He saw the man and he too passed by without stopping to help. Now wait a second. These two guys were workers at God's temple. It was their job to help connect people with God and worship Him. They were supposed to be God's servants, and they had just passed by the Jewish man. Now, maybe they were afraid. Maybe they thought the bandits were still nearby. Perhaps they just didn't want to be bothered. Maybe they were too busy to care. If the crowd listening to Jesus thought that was surprising, they were not ready for his final twist. A third man traveled down the road. This guy was a Samaritan. For hundreds of years, the Samaritans and the Jewish people had hated one another. Jewish people would travel out of their way just to avoid having to walk through a Samaritan city. They wouldn't use the same jars or cups. I mean, bad blood doesn't even begin to describe their hatred. I'm sure the crowd expected the Samaritan in Jesus' story to pass by, maybe even kick the Jewish guy around a little bit, possibly spit on him. But what they didn't expect was that he would be the only one to stop and help. Yep, Jesus said the Samaritan stopped. He took pity on the guy. He bandaged up his wounds. He sat the hurting man on his own donkey and even took him to a safe place where he could heal. The Samaritan paid an innkeeper to look after him. Jesus then asked the lawyer this: which of these three do you think was a neighbor to the man who was attacked by the robbers? Well, he had no choice but to reply that it was the Samaritan. Jesus told them to go and to do the same thing the Samaritan had done. The message was clear. In God's view, every person you come in contact with is your neighbor. It's easy to love your friends, but Jesus said we should love anyone, even someone who doesn't like us. Everyone is our neighbor. The friend next door, your cousin, the bully at school, even the kid at the store you've never even met. They are all your neighbor. Are you willing to be kind to them, help them, maybe share God's love with them, even if they're rude, even if they hate you? We don't get to pick and choose who we love. We don't get to play favorites and only show kindness to certain people. Jesus was the ultimate example of this. He came to earth, suffered lots of hate and abuse, but nothing that happened to him stopped him from loving everyone. Let's follow Jesus' example and love your neighbor.
Have you ever heard the word lease before?
I mean, the contract you have to sign promising to stay in the house you rent?
Right, well, apparently Skip leased the house from some actor scientist, and it turns out it's like a billion-year lease.
Well,
So I gotta stay.
well, that's good because you two are too good of friends to let something like this come between you. So maybe you could let go of your anger and be friends again? Anybody?
All right, I'm sorry, Rusty, I called your brain microscopic.
All right, Dr. Herman, I'm sorry that I paid Ethel's cat to take a big poop in your shoes.
Paid a cat, whoa. Which shoes?
Those shoes right there.
Oh, come on. These are new.
All right. But best friends again? Best friends?
All right.
What? Are you still mad?
Best friends don't shake hands. Hannah, best friends hug. Oh, I'm never letting you go.
You can.
I'm never letting you go.
Okay.
Because friends are friends forever.
Oh, yeah.
If the Lord is Lord of them.
I know that song.
And a friend will not say never. And it's ours
I wanna-
again.
You don't know the words, do you?
Best friends are. Come on, get in here, Hannah. Give this.
No.
Come on.
I wonder if it's too late to call that actor, see if he can get out of that lease.
Come on, Hannah. Let's come on. Let's get in. I gotta make it huggy.
You know,
Yeah.
somewhere Michael W. Smith is very angry right
Yeah,
now.
come on. Group hug.
Yeah. Well, I think we're good. I feel it. I feel it.
There it is.
All right, why don't we go fix that toilet?
Okay.
Well, I'm glad that Rusty and I patched up our friendship. Hannah distracted him with food, so at least he stopped hugging me. Like Jesus' story explained, it doesn't matter who it is. Anyone can be your neighbor. The kid down the street who's not nice, the new kid at school, your principal, anyone. When the Bible tells us to love our neighbor, it means we should love everyone, regardless of who they are or how they act. And that's something you can talk about when you do this week's Big Do. As a family, do an act of kindness for someone you don't know. Do it at random. Like you could pay for their meal at the restaurant or a coffee or send them a note. Maybe you can even bake some treats for them. Be creative and find some fun ways to share some love.